I tell you.
That's right. I'll tell you. Hey, true believers. Oh, no, we're at the Hey, fellow film fans. I get these things confused sometimes. All righty. So
folks.
the Oscars, they're in 2 days. And I figured, what the heck? Let's go through the list. Let's talk about who we want to win, who we think will win, even if it's the same person. Because sometimes they get it wrong. And I got to tell you something. I loved watching the Oscars. And I obviously that's past tense. Let me tell you how extraordinarily dedicated to the Oscars I was. One year, they fell on my wife's birthday. And I tried talking her out of doing something on her birthday so I could watch the Oscars. I'd have a little Oscar party. And she said no. Then being the good husband I was, I said, we're not missing the Oscars. Not the greatest time came out of that.
Was this before or after the separation?
Yeah, and this is long before. This is in the 90s. And just to let you know how it ended, because I am a man, Jack. I am king of the castle. So I took her to wherever she wanted to go and hit record on that VCR. But seriously, my wife's birthday, I was willing to skip it so I could watch the Oscars. I used to love it. And I had this illusion that the movies were picked from merit. Now, I have a feeling that they were done so more then than they are now. When I found out really politics creeps into it so much more, my bubble got burst when I read an interview and somebody was like, they were talking about how you pick the Oscars. And this guy says, well, I would like to pick Russell Crowe, but with all that's going on, I can't see myself giving him the. If he did a good job, do it.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
if the quality is there, then hang everything else.
Oh, my bird ate a hole in my shirt. I just noticed it. That's why I did this bit. So, anywho, I really, honestly, I don't have a lot of faith in the Academy to pick through merit. So you're going to hear a lot of reasoning for me picking things that are not, because it's the best. And with that saying, let's share this out here. We'll go through category to category. And they start this off with the best actor in a supporting role. This is, hold on. What just happened to this? Okay. Can you see it? It can kind of be seen. Here you go.
I can see your sharing screen, but I can't actually read the text.
I'll help you out here. Let me see if we can't get this a little more straight. No, we can't. All righty. So we have the best actor in a supporting role nominees: Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, which is on HBO Max now; Brian Tyree Henry, which is Causeway. I believe that's on Apple Plus. The Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, which is on POV, or pay-per-view, PPV. Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin, and Ki-Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Would you like to start this one up?
I think this one is one of the few categories where should and will probably coincide, because I expect the win will go to Ki-Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I imagine that for all of the technical awards, Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be the darling of this year, in the same way that Mad Max Fury Road was a couple of years ago. Well,
I hope not like Mad Max, but let's not jump the gun. We're on this. I think it's a shoe, and this kid has been winning every damn award from the beginning to end. I say kid, he's our age, or my age, not yours. Yeah, it's Ki-Hu Kwan's to lose here. Even if you go through, I think the Banshee of Inisherin guys are going to cut through. They're going to split the vote. And I don't think either Judd Hirsch or Brian Tyree Henry I don't think people know they're even nominated. So Ki-Hu Kwan. So this is both. I'm marking these down for us here with an A and a D, or an E and a D as it is. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Actress in a leading role. I have spent the last week really kind of, let's check this out. What's what's nominated here, what's nominated. Let's watch these films and everything. So I've seen everything here. Michelle Yeoh has been winning everything from here to there. The only person who's ever brought up in a conversation with her is Cate Blanchett. I watched her today, as a matter of fact, and I can tell you she's amazing in it. But I'm going everything, everywhere as well on this one.
Yep. Again, unfortunately, this pattern happens where all the technical awards get swept by a movie that everyone likes, and then the bigger awards go to the most obscure or
well, these are the bigger awards. The top 5 are director, actor, actress. Well, the top 6 anyway, or actor, actress, director, support.
Yeah, and then even when that happens, somehow they don't give it Best Picture, even though it's objectively the best in all these different ways.
Yeah, Mad Max wins 15 awards, but not Best Picture. Okay, actress in a supporting role. Now this has some drama behind it, because for the longest it was Angela Bassett. And she's winning everything. But then they have the SAG Awards. This is the Screen Actors Guild. These are actors voting for actors. And it went to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, it's also one of the largest voting blocks for the Academy as well, which is why the SAG Awards are indicative of where the Oscars are usually going to go.
So this is something. Do you go Angela Bassett? Or do you go Jamie Lee Curtis? But I got to tell you, we haven't really focused, because I think our want tos and our wills kind of coincided on the last 2. I want Hong Shao for The Whale. You know how much I loved Angela Bassett when we were talking about Black Panther.
Yeah, she made that movie.
But I think Hong Shao, I think she just opened up different levels. Who I want to win, I want Hong Shao. Who I think will win, I think this is actually, as much as the SAG Awards has predicted the winner, I'm going to go with Angela Bassett.
I want Angela Bassett to win, but I think that Jamie Lee Curtis will win. And by the way, this is one of those times where I will be happily wrong if the one I want to win actually wins.
Okay, so you think it's going to be Jamie Lee Curtis?
Because the Screen Actors Guild is one of the largest voting blocks in the Academy, and they tend to be predictive. So
they most definitely do. The last, I believe it's the last 20 of the last 28 Oscars, the SAG Awards have
yeah. In other words, there has not been since the time I've been alive a case where the Oscars went any other way.
Well, no, that there within that time, only 8 were not SAG Award winners. So,
okay. So
next up, we've got. Let me hold on. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll skip over this, and now we've got animated feature. And I almost feel it's an embarrassment to ask you, considering. But who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win?
What are my options?
Oh, I'm sorry. You have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and then the others.
Yeah.
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red.
It's, by all rights, it should go to Guillermo, and I will not brook any other choice. However, because of the way the Oscars work, and I hate that I have to make this stipulation every freaking time, because Guillermo won a couple of years ago for Shape of Water, they don't like giving repeat Oscars unless they absolutely have to. So probably Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, if the Oscars come down to he just won for Shape of Water, so we can't give it to him again.
So you think Puss in Boots is going to win?
I'm not, that distinction I'm not upset about, because Puss in Boots was actually pretty good, but Guillermo is Guillermo, and he did an amazing job. My only criticism of that movie, as you know, was we need to talk about fascism, even though fascism is a non-entity in the West. Whatever.
Well, I am going to go. I think they're going to give it to Pinocchio. That's my choice. Who would I like to win? I want Puss in Boots. We're backwards on this one. I would love for Puss in Boots to win. I think it was an amazing movie. I think it transcended what anybody had even thought of this movie.
Oh yeah, it's a massive improvement on the first one, and probably a massive improvement on the whole Shrek franchise for a while now.
Before I saw Puss in Boots, though, Marcel was my choice all the way to the end. But Puss in Boots, that's an amazing movie, but I think Pinocchio is going to get it.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-horse race between Pinocchio and Puss in Boots, frankly. And honestly, no matter which way it goes, I'm going to be happy with that. So, meh.
Yeah, they're both so good. Okay, let's see. The next category is cinematography. Now, this is basically the look of a film. It's what turns something from a flat picture, like if you were to film it with your phone, into what looks like an actual film, what looks like an actual movie. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, a film I got to admit I did not see yet, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. And just to get this one started, when there's two movies, to me it's a race between two films, Elvis and All Quiet on the Western Front. These movies are lush, but I think Elvis really stands out with the colors, the making it look like it's a period piece. Well, both of them are, but this really just kind of stands out. The look of the movie stands out. All Quiet on the Western Front, I think they wanted it to look kind of just gray and brutal.
Yeah, they did the deliberately being boring is the same as being dramatic thing. So, yeah.
Well, it's a good movie. Not going to take that away, but my choice will be Elvis. How about you? As far as the looks,
I don't really have a horse in this race, but yeah, Elvis is probably the one if I had to choose, like, gun to my head. Yeah, Elvis deserves it, and also there was a big fan base for Elvis when it came out, so
it's gotten some heat since then too. All right, we move on to costume design. Now, of course, we all know what costume design is, wardrobe and so forth and so on. Black Panther, I believe, won when it was out, the original movie, and that's Ruth Carter. She's nominated again. We have Babylon, which, of course, recreates the Hollywood in the 1920s. Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. This, in my opinion, is a three-way race, and I have no clue as to who I would pick. So this one's like, okay, because let's face it, Babylon, you have to create everything from scratch. It's just the 1920s, but I'm pretty sure they've got a wardrobe somewhere behind there. Elvis, you got the colorful jumpsuits that Elvis used to wear. Of course, the Colonel's outfits. There's a lot going on. But I think Everything Everywhere All at Once gets this because of every there are scenes where you just do these cuts.
The various quantum leaps and universe jumps and things all have their own aesthetic, which means their own costuming.
This might be where I go wrong here, but I'm going to go Everything Everywhere on this one.
Yep, I agree, because again, I suspect it's going to be another Mad Max or Gravity situation where for some reason Everything Everywhere will get all the awards but not Best Picture for some reason.
I hope you're wrong, but we'll get to that. All righty, and next up we have Best Directing, Best Direction, and once again we've got some great choices here. It was really not a bad year for movies. We've got The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Martin McDowell for Banshees, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere. Fableman was directed by Steven Spielberg. Todd Field directed Tar, and Triangle of Sadness Ruben Östlund, which in all honesty, I'm going to say right away. Todd Field and Ruben Östlund, they needed 5, so they put 5 in. You know,
yeah,
they had to come up with 2 more, right?
You made it to the nomination. Proceed no further.
Yeah, but then again, I also feel the same way about Martin McDowell. Look, it's a great movie. It's fine. I like all of these movies, some a little bit more than others, but I really do believe this is between Steven Spielberg and the Daniels. And as much as I respect Steven Spielberg, once again,
he's lost a lot of his mojo in recent years, unfortunately.
He found it with this movie. It's kind of funny to say because it's basically his life story, but I think he found his passion in telling his own story.
I mean, there's a part of me that would penalize him just for that because it's so egotistical and self-indulgent, but, you know.
But it's a good movie. It would be one thing if it turned out like, what was that? The Bobby Darin movie, Beyond the Sea. It was directed by Kevin Spacey. It was such a passion project, but it was also very conceited, egotistical. It just didn't work. But here I'm going to go with the Daniels. How about you?
Yeah, I'm thinking Everything Everywhere All at Once gets yet another feather added to its cap.
All righty. I think we have a favorite film here. All right, documentary film feature. This is one of those categories that I know not a lot of people watch everything. Have you seen any of these?
No, I have not.
Here are the nominees. All That Breathes, which right now I believe is on, I want to say on Netflix. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I don't know where that's on. Fire of Love is now on Disney Plus. A House Made of Splinters. Oh, All That Breathes is on HBO. A House of Splinters. I don't know where we can find that, but Navalny is on HBO as well. And here is one of those, probably the first one I'm going to say, I think what they're going to pick is different than what I want. The Fire of Love is about 2 volcanologists who met. They both had an interest in volcanoes. They married. They agreed they won't have kids. They're just going to study volcanoes together for the rest of their lives. And ultimately, this is a documentary. We know the story. Ultimately, it's what kills them.
Yep.
And it is a beautifully told story with some of the best graphics, and they're real because it comes from the film that they took of volcanoes ever. It's really, really good. That being said, go down the list a little bit. You come to a movie called Navalny, which is about the war in Ukraine, or it's about Russia's aggression towards Ukraine. And one thing
political nepotism.
Yeah, one thing I know about the Academy, if they can get their politics in, they're going to. So as much as I want Fire of Love to win, I am going to be picking Navalny.
Yeah, I'm on roughly the same page as you. One of these is a better story, no question, but one of them allows Hollywood to suck itself off for the 100th time today, and we all know which of these is more important to them.
All righty. So far, I think we have picked damn near the same. I don't think there's a contest between us, except for maybe 1 or 2 movies. Documentary shorts. I know you haven't seen these, so there's a movie on Netflix called The Hollow. Actually, a lot of these short films, I shared with you a link. A lot of these short films, if you do want to check them out, are available on YouTube. I've seen quite a few on YouTube. But the one that I would really advise you guys to check out, and I don't know if you're going to just throw out a pick or what, is The Hollout. This is a guy who he wants to study the effects of global warming on the walrus population. I'm sorry, watching walruses is fun. I love my pass to SeaWorld, and it's kind of the same way. But anyway, yeah, I would pick the by the way, I have no inside knowledge on this. I just saw them, and that's the one I went. Now, the one that could go, because there's a lot of stuff about inclusion and all that kind of stuff, the one that could upset it is The Stranger at the Gate. And this is also on Netflix. This is about a man who wanted to go shoot up a mosque. When he gets there, instead, he starts talking to people, and a bridge is built, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm knowing the Academy. That's going to be the one that wins.
Okay. And that's Stranger at the Gate. That's your pick. Okay. Alrighty. Let me mark that down. And oh, I need a new sheet. Yeah, I'm keeping these. When I watch this, I'm going to mark it and see who's right. That's one that we split on. Next up, we've got film editing. And this is something, because I really have I have a question here, because on one hand I see Elvis, which was directed by Baz Luhrmann, so you've got all of his quick edits and so forth and so on. Hello to whoever just popped in. The Everything Everywhere All at Once, you've got those pop 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 as she's going through all the universes. But Top Gun had like 10 hours of footage that they had to squeeze down to a 2-hour movie.
Yep.
So this might actually be a nod. This might actually be where
Hollywood throws the audience a bone.
Yeah, because I don't expect Top Gun to win Best Picture. I don't expect it to get a lot of the awards that would belie
it might have if Avatar and Everything Everywhere All at Once didn't exist, but yeah, no, Hollywood likes those two better. So
yeah, well, Avatar's not here, but yeah, the thing is those are the ones that I think are the ones to look out for. Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Top Gun. Which one would you pick? Which one do you think is going to win, and which one would you pick?
Probably Top Gun here, just because it's so far one of the few that's been nominated for. But I think that if we were just going quality for quality's sake, Everything Everywhere All at Once would take yet another win.
Okay, so who is going to win on Sunday?
Top Gun.
Top Gun? All righty. And you know what? Just to make a contest, I'm going to go Everything. Because I think it's really...
this is one of those where in either case, yeah. I'm not upset.
Hey, look, I like every movie on this. I like Tar a bit less than, say, Top Gun, Banshees, or Everything, or Elvis. But yeah, I like all of them. Okay, here's another one of those that a lot of people just do not see. It's the best foreign film. I know they call it international. I don't care. So not a lot of films are here. Not a lot of films are yeah, screw it. If it ain't RRR, It's All Quiet on the Western Front. I know and they snubbed it. So I'm going to go, hey, Paolo, I'm going All Quiet on the Western Front. It's the one that's nominated for Best Picture, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to lose this.
And it's a war movie, and Hollywood loves their dramatic war movies. So,
yeah, and it's just it's a situation where I think this is the bone. I think this is hey, people like that one. Let me throw it a bone, and so forth and so on. So yeah, okay. Coming up next up, we have makeup and hairstyling. I remember it was just makeup, but there you go. I still think there should be a category for stunts, but that's just me.
Yeah, All Quiet on the Western Front. I think everyone has been advocating for best stunt performer for absolutely. A category for years, but
All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther, Elvis, and The Whale. I usually don't care about the Oscars, but this year there's a Portuguese production for Best Animated Short called The Ice Merchants. I was just about to watch that one. I think it's I think that's the one I have not yet seen. But I am making my prediction before that. I don't know the writer director, but I do know the producer. Oh, cool. So who do you think is going to win, and who do you want to win Best Makeup?
Who I think is going to win is the Whale, because Brendan Fraser's fat suit.
Okay.
Who I would like to see win is the Batman, because it's not getting nominated for any other categories today.
You know what? I think it does. I think it's got one more, but the thing is, I'm there with you, and for one reason only. If you did not tell me who played the Penguin, I would have never guessed.
Yep.
I would have never guessed that is Colin Farrell in that freaking Penguin suit.
Yep.
And watching the making of and watching them transform, it is freaking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Whale's going to get it.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that one. So it's one of those cases. You and I are basically simpaticos so far, man.
Well, it's partly because I think we have similar tastes, and partly because we know how the Academy works, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, now this one is the best original score. All righty, and they've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshee of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. And The Fabelman is John Williams. You've got Justin Hurwitz on Babylon, Volker Bertelmann on All Quiet, Carter Burwell on Banshees, and Everything Everywhere is done by Sun Lux. Now, here's the thing. Babylon is incredible. That score is really good. But it might be my own stupidity, but I think this is the Academy's last chance to give John Williams an Oscar for a Steven Spielberg movie. I think that's the direction they're going to go.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that Everything Everywhere All at Once should take this again, but yeah, having you just say that was like, oh yeah, I guess this is the last time. So, yep.
We'll see.
Posthumous Oscar for everything that John Williams should have won for every year.
He has one more, but it's not directed by Steven Spielberg. The last John Williams score is going to be Indiana Jones 5.
They're not gonna separate Williams and Spielberg. It's not. Hollywood loves their darlings, and both of those guys are darlings, and neither of them, or rather John Williams, has never gotten his due for the 501 things over the course of his career he should have got nominated for. So, John Williams.
Yeah, he should be like the Meryl Streep of composers, because it would be like, okay, John Williams did a score this time. Who else are we nominating? Just
Who are we filling up the categories with? With the possible exception of one or two times where it's been an out there win, like the woman who did Joker. Mm-hmm. She deserved that win, come hell or high water. I don't care who you're comparing her to.
All right, so we got original song. We've got applause from Tell It Like a Woman. It's Diane Warren, who, once again, she is kind of like John Williams, but she's always nominated. She never wins. Hold My Hand from Top Gun by Lady Gaga. Lift Me Up from Black Panther. It's going to be actually performed by Rihanna. Natu Natu from RRR. And This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once by Ryan Lott and David Byrne from Talking Heads.
They might give it to Natu Natu just because they neglected to nominate RRR for so many categories, and usually when the nominations are one-offs like that, it's because we got to give this movie something. So here, have a give me category.
Well, did you ever see RRR?
I did eventually.
That dance sequence is freaking amazing. I'm not gonna take anything away from that, man. That is such.
No, I'm just saying I can see the wheels turning in the Academy's heads with these categories sometimes, and that seems like one of those.
Okay, and you're gonna go with Natu Natu then?
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you on that, man. We are really picking the same movies for the most part. I agree. I think it's gonna win. The only upset is Lift Me Up, because it's basically a song to Chadwick Boseman, not Black Panther, but Chadwick
We're
Boseman.
all grieving for you, Chadwick song.
So that could actually be the upset right there. But my gosh, Natu, that entire scene, the song itself, it has got such a high energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It deserves it. By no means am I saying it doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying it annoys me that it's very obvious what they're doing, because they didn't nominate RRR for any of the other 1,000 things it should have been nominated for. And so seeing it in this one category is fairly conspicuous, which tells me the Academy is probably thinking to themselves, well, we didn't give it any of the other things it should have won for, so here, have this one.
Okay, I'm going to skip over. Best Picture should always be picked last. Best Production Design. Now, this is sets. This is the look of the film as far as background, so forth, so on. You got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. What do you think? What do you think is going to? What do you want to win? What were you blown away by?
See, I really liked Elvis in this category, so okay. I would want Elvis, but I'm thinking they're probably going to go Avatar, even though 90% of Avatar was computer generated, which seems somewhat disingenuous for production design.
You still have to design, and there were physical sets, but you still have to design it. You still have to make it look that good. I'll mark you down for Avatar here. Oh man, when we're looking at all this, basically everything Avatar you have to create from scratch based on the fact that it's an alien world, but everything else is also something you have to build from the ground up, because it's a period piece, because it's just
high craftsmanship value.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it. I'm going Babylon on this one. I think this is Babylon. So they recreate old Hollywood.
You're probably right.
They recreate an old Hollywood set where it's basically 19 different boxes in a 12-foot area, as people are filming their entire movies on basically these little heat boxes and everything.
And lest we forget that Hollywood loves to congratulate itself.
Hollywood loves Hollywood, baby. That's just the way it is. All righty. As I was talking to Paolo, he was in the comments for a while. We have been doing this entire thing by ourselves, by the way. Here are the nominees for short film: The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, the Horse, which is now on Apple Plus; The Flying Sailor, which is now on YouTube; Ice Merchants, which is also on YouTube; My Year of Dicks, which I found on Vimeo; and An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Believed It, which, hold on just a sec, I have that oh no, I just watched it. I think that was also on Vimeo.
I didn't know that movie existed, but I'm congratulating it for that title, if nothing else.
An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It. Look, I haven't seen Ice Merchants yet. The one that Paolo popped up and said, hey, I know this guy. I will say this: The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, the Horse is a meme. It's like it's beautifully animated. Don't get me wrong, this is a gorgeous film, but the dialogue is like, if you don't master your fear, then fear becomes your master. You know, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, it is like that. It is like that throughout.
Pretentious as all hell.
Yeah, they speak in parables to each other. They don't have dialogue as much as they're speaking in parables to each other. An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It is just a guy who's overworked and he sees an ostrich, and it's a fun film, but I'm
assuming he has some kind of nervous breakdown and starts hallucinating about the ostrich.
Except for maybe he's not.
Well, yeah, but
here's the thing. For as much as I love the ostrich title, the one title I really don't want to say out loud was the funniest of them all and the most enjoyable, and that is My Year of Dicks. It's about a woman who, or a girl, I should say. She's like, she's in the young 20s or something. And she wants to lose her virginity. And she's going from party to party, meeting these guys. And it's just funny. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm going to go with my year of dicks.
I'm going to go with the ostrich movie just because I just like the sound of that, frankly.
Okay, I got you marked down.
Now all I can think of is the song "I'm in Love with an Ostrich" from the old Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah, Lord. Well, it's kind of funny, but the only problem I have with my choice is, will they actually read my year of dicks off as a winner? So.
Well, they might, because it might be one of those that they frame as super feministy. So maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, next up we have short film live action, and a lot of these are not available anywhere. However, I'm gonna go for the only one that I've actually seen because it was just adorable. It was cute. It's on Disney Plus, and it's called La Pupille. It's about a group of orphan girls in a Catholic orphanage. And I'm watching, I'm going, my gosh, you Catholics, what the hell are you doing with your religion? I don't get, my wife's Catholic. So while we're watching, what the hell is wrong with you people? Because she's like,
and then he was laying on the couch for the next couple of nights.
What the hell is wrong with you people? We worship Jesus. You mourn him. I mean, you guys are just, really? This is what you do? Oh my gosh. It is one of these things where every bit of happiness these little orphans get is just whipped away from these nuns that want their spirit to be, oh, no, you should get rid of that happiness so you know how the other half live. And
your happiness is a sin, therefore, yeah.
She's literally telling these orphan girls that they shouldn't experience happiness because people have it worse than them.
Yep. But not to get too religious about it, but this is part of the reason I'm not a Christian anymore.
Well, I thought it was fun. It's a funny movie and very fun and as well. Even I'm describing it as kind of dour, but it's very entertaining like that. And one of my favorite things that happens in it is the head nun, Mother something or other. She's got the main character, and she goes, well, I guess. She says, I guess that you are just a bad girl. And then later they've got this cake that this woman made for him, took 70 eggs. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful cake. When they cut into it, you want a piece. And the Mother Superior says, well, I think that we should deny ourselves the cake. She wanted to give it to the bishop and get brownie points. And you should deny your cake for Jesus. If you love Jesus, you won't take your piece of cake. Everybody who loves Jesus and won't take their cake, stand up. And this little girl's still sitting there. She goes, why aren't you standing? Are you so selfish? And she says, I'm a bad girl. You said so yourself. so she ends up cutting her a piece, and she gives it to her. All the while, all the other kids are just standing around going, wait a second.
This reminds me of the cake scene from Matilda of all things.
Yeah, it was done very well. I liked it. That's going to be my pick for it. But I know you're gonna shoot blind from the hip, but
honestly, hearing you describe that, I'm just going to agree with you on the basis of that sounds both like a movie that I would never watch on the basis of my own feelings on the topic, but also kind of hilariously awful. So yeah, sure.
It's not an awful movie. It's actually a good little, it's like 28 minutes or something like that. Okay, so best sound. You've got the war sounds of All Quiet on the Western Front. You've got Avatar: The Way of Water and their war sounds. The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick.
I think this is Elvis's to lose just because music.
Okay.
But I would like to see the Batman win.
You know, we are on the same page as far as Batman is concerned. We are not on the same page as to who's going to steal it from Batman. The reason why I will say this is because when I was in the theater and that Batmobile revved up, I remember that sound.
Yep.
Like that was a moment in the movies for me this year.
Yep. But they're not going to give it to a comic book movie unless
they're not. I don't think they're going to give it to Batman. You said they're going to give it to Elvis, but I think this is going to go to Top Gun because of all the
that's possible too. Yeah.
So that's where I think they're going to go. All right. Next up, we've got visual effects. You got The War and All Quiet on the Western Front. You've got Avatar. You got the Batman, Black Panther, and Top Gun. And there's a lot of great special effects.
The correct answer is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but it's not here, so probably Avatar.
There's a lot of good special effects here, but there's only one movie that is all special effects.
Sold on their special effects and nothing but their special effects, therefore Avatar.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page as far as that's concerned. Hopefully the Academy is as well. I just don't think this is one of those things where if it doesn't, we riot. You know.
Yeah. Even people who don't like Avatar always end up saying that the visual effects are amazing. So let's not beat around the bush. We all know we're here to suck off James Cameron. Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, hey, look, it's you got to admit those were good effects. This isn't something that was given as this isn't a handout on this one, though. All right.
I mean, I have issues with the way it treats visual effects because I'm more of I want to see how you can stylize a world from the ground up rather than a photorealistic one, but because photorealism is boring, but that's just me.
All right. Now we've got writing adapted. And we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, Living, Top Gun, and Women Talking.
Should be Top Gun. They might give it to Women Talking just for nepotism points.
Okay. So what do you think?
I think the nepotism isn't going to be strong enough to give it to Women Talking, so they're probably going to give it to Top Gun.
Top Gun?
Yeah.
All righty. That's going to be Dalton. And I'm looking at this, and I think it's either All Quiet or it's Glass Onion. I think those two are gonna go for it. That being said, Women Talking is all script. I mean, that is a very apt title. I saw it last night with Gail. You know what? Glass Onion had blowback. I'm going to go Women Talking on this one. All righty. And then next up, we got original screenplay. Okay. And that is The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. What do you think will win? What do you want to win?
Here, I think the answers are one and the same, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I think that this movie, like when I first saw it, I enjoyed it as the quirky movie that it was. And then when I saw it again with Gail, I noticed how deep it was. And then I saw it a third time with Elizabeth when it came back to theaters just a couple of months ago. This is an incredible film. I mean, this is an incredible freaking film, and it is so much deeper than I ever gave it credit for, to tell you the truth. I agree with you. I think this is going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. All right. And let's see. Oh, now we go to the big one. Best Picture. This is the final one of the night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wish they would just stick with the 5. But we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. And for the last few, it really has been a two-man race, I think, between Elvis and Everywhere.
Yeah,
other movies are mentioned, but when they talk like with that have an actual shot, it's either Elvis or Everything Everywhere. Out of those two, we've been talking most of our picks. I'm going to go Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I want it to win, but I've seen too many recent iterations of the Oscars to know that if something takes a bunch of technical awards, it's probably going to miss out on Best Picture for what the Academy assumes is balance in the largest possible air quotes.
Okay, so where do you think they're going to go with it?
I don't know, because I'm trying to figure out how spiteful they're going to be with Best Picture. Because sadly enough, that is often what they use Best Picture for. It's, yes, we acknowledge that these movies are objectively better than this movie in a bunch of ways, but
well, no, you're not wrong.
Despite the idea of the audience, so
if you look at Oscars in the recent past, you've got films that were much better than like Moonlight did not deserve the win over La La Land.
No,
they when Green Book won, hell, there was a better racial film with what was that, the KKK one that year? Black Klansman, that's it. There were so many good films, but what happens is it seems like when there is a successful film, the Academy wants to push a smaller movie. Like they go, you know what? Top Gun won a lot of money. It doesn't need the awards. It doesn't need the attention. Everything Everywhere All at Once, they might consider it doesn't need the attention. So it might go to Banshees of Inisherin. It might go to Tar. It might go to Triangle of Sadness, or even Women Talking.
I'm leaning towards Women Talking because of how very, very ideological it is. Yeah. And that usually tends to be the clincher.
Like not just the right politics, but the most politics.
Yeah. It's literally a movie conceived in Me Too. So, plus it's only been nominated for 2 categories here. Mm-hmm. And I could see them going, well, we only nominated it for 2 categories, so obviously it gets the Best Picture nom.
Okay, so who do you think will get?
It's not the answer I would choose. The answer I would choose is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And once again, this is one of those, I will be so happy if I am wrong, but probably Women Talking, unfortunately.
6, 7, 8, 9. Okie dokie. I've got you down for Women Talking then. And there we go. On Sunday, I'm going to do a live stream where I'm going to start it off so I could see some red carpet stuff. I'm a man. I like to watch pretty girls in beautiful dresses walk down a red carpet, you know. And then obviously I'm not going to be able to show it, but we'll have a little live play-by-play and so forth. And there you go. I'm looking forward to it.
And this year I'm actually jump on whenever I can, but like I say, Sundays are the days that I usually do podcasts at the Storm with Brainstormer, and it depends on how long we go for that.
Alrighty.
It can be anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours. So
that's why I wanted to get your picks, and I wanted to get our picks out there. So we've got our sheets, even though you're not going to.
Yeah, and depending on how long you go, I can always pop on and we can do a discussion of it after.
You know what? We didn't do a category. Leading actor. We didn't do that one. I guess I skipped it. It's I thought the supporting actor, usually supporting actor is the first one they hand out. But the leading actor, you've got Austin Butler as Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser as The Whale, Paul Mescal in After Sun, and Bill Nye in Living.
I think I think Brendan Fraser's finally gonna get one.
I think Brendan Fraser better get one.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there, but they have lost. There has been so much praise heaped on the whale. I could not conceive of anyone but Brendan Fraser getting it.
I think Austin Butler could be the upset. I do. I think he's the upset if it comes.
If that happens, I'm rioting. But
I know. It's
whatever.
Yeah, I want Brendan Fraser to win this so much. All right, but there you go, gang. That's our picks for the Oscars. Who we think will win, who we think or who we want to win. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thank you to Dalton for hanging out with me and doing this. I'm excited for the Oscars a little bit. I'm excited for the winners. Not so much. I really don't want to see Jimmy Kimmel do anything anymore. But the other stuff, that's what I'm excited
honestly, get Ricky Gervais or Seth MacFarlane back, and then maybe I will consider being excited for the host.
Well, he did a song called "We Saw Your Boobs." I don't think they're getting him back.
Yeah, but he did that, and he managed to do that, and I think it was 2012. It might have been 2013. So
yeah, I don't know. Fun times. Anyway, once again, guys, check us out on Sunday. I think it starts at 8, so we'll start this at 7:30. Watch some red carpet shit, and there you go. Thanks for hanging out with us, and as always, thank you very, very much for watching.
Cheers, guys.
Fun times.